Hey explorers, welcome back to Kelman Explores. Today I want to talk to you about my brief time on Utopia of the Seas, my experience and some of my opinions about the world's second largest cruise ship. First, let's just get into the sheer size of Utopia of the Seas. It is a little over 236,000 gross tons. That is very heavy. It is the widest ship I've ever been on, clocking in at 64 meters wide or just over 211 feet wide. That is very wide. It is very long, of course, too. The numbers are out there. I think 369 feet long, maybe? Something like that. I could be wrong. But it is very long as well. But the width of it is really what sets it apart. It is second, right behind the Icon of the Seas, which is technically the largest ship in the world. Although the Utopia of the Seas is a few months younger, debuting this year, 2024 in July. At full capacity, we're talking double capacity in the rooms, all the rooms that allow it, and with crew, maximum crew, there's almost 8,000 people on that ship at any given time. It is a big ship, and with big ships come big venues, big entertainment spaces, plenty of entertainment cast. I was amazed to count how many dining rooms or options to eat there are on the ship, including specialty and included. There is 22 different venues where you can get food at almost any time, except for probably late at night or early in the morning. But you know what? There's plenty of food options, believe me. There's 13 bars, plenty of opportunities to get yourself alcohol. And there's countless entertainment spaces and venues where you can watch award-winning shows, in my opinion, the best shows I've seen at sea. Comedy, other entertainment, where the entertainment activities host their events like karaoke and all that stuff, trivia. There's plenty to do on that ship. Let's get into what I thought about my time on Utopia of the Seas. The appearance, the layout, it is very large, but it's easy to navigate. I like that the two main elevator atriums are very distinctive with different kind of chandelier art in the middle of them. So it kind of helps you recognize where you're at. It's easy to keep that in mind, where when you see like the manta rays, you're towards the front of the ship. And when you see like the little, I'll put them up here, the little like metal spheres, you're towards the back of the ship. It's kind of easy to keep that together when you're moving around, and after first few hours you kind of got the ship layout down. The ship is so large though, you may never actually make it to every place in a 3 or 4 day sailing, which is what the Utopia was created to do. It's billed as the continuous, like perpetual weekend cruise, even in the middle of the week. It's supposed to be the most party going cruise, the most entertaining cruise with Royal Caribbean, with constant entertainment options and shows going on. I was very impressed though with the ship itself and its overall appearance and layout. It is brand spanking new, but it is a great addition to the Oasis class, and it's also the Oasis class's the first LNG powered cruise ship within the Oasis class. I really also enjoyed the staterooms on the ship. I got to see a couple of different ones. I thought they're very well put together. They are somewhat minimalistic. They're not as cram-packed full of stuff, which is great. They have modern USB-C charging adapters built into the wall and the sides of the bed, which is perfect nowadays. Most of our devices use USB-C. They do, of course, have a few USB-A by the desk area where you would plug in most of your devices, as well as plenty of regular electric outlets also by the bed. The bathrooms are a perfect size, and they have everything you need, and everything's in working order. The color scheme has been updated and is very modern, and I think will have a longer lasting power with us as passengers as cruise ships continue to age. Whereas just 10 years ago, those vessels are, to me, aging still kind of bad with the color schemes they picked. The food is amazing, and it is still technically the inaugural season, so you may get a better selection within the buffet at certain times. Specifically, definitely on embarkation day during lunch period. So the day you get on the ship, you will have a elevated menu in the buffet. Definitely chilled cocktail shrimp and possibly lobster will still be available during this time frame. So if you're going on soon, make sure and look for that. The main dining room is very good with plenty of selection. It is very daunting actually to try to decide where you want to eat within the specialty dining and the included dining. You can go to 3 or 4 days without even trying any specialty dining and still not have tried everything there is, because there's just too much to eat. There's so many places to eat breakfast, and there's honestly not enough time. I tended to gravitate and stay around the Central Park area for breakfast because it was a little quieter, a lot less selection, but it's off the beaten path, and it's a peaceful area to kind of enjoy breakfast and get your included coffee without much of a hoopla or a line. Again, I think the food is outstanding. I don't know what it's going to be in the future because sometimes budgets change as cruise ships kind of get out of their inaugural season, and the buffet food can somewhat kind of go back down a little bit as far as selection and maybe quality. But for now, the food was very good. I did not try any specialty dining on my time on board. Honestly, there's not enough time to do it. As far as staff was amazing. I had no issues with staff, and they were all very helpful and very entertaining because it's a never-ending party. Special shout out to Bonita and the activities team, the entertainment team. She was our amazing host for the Royal Escape Room, which I did try, and it was pretty fun time. And she was very nice and actually let us finish it even though we didn't finish. She let us figure it out. She gave us extra time even though we technically didn't win. She allowed us to kind of, oh, okay, we were this far or we were this close. So I appreciate that. I had no issues with the staff. My stateroom steward, Mohand, was very great and kept my room very clean and my towel supplied and worked with my schedule. The dining staff and the serving staff for the alcohol and all that stuff, also very outstanding. I had no reason to go to customer service, but they seemed to be always having a smile when I walked by. Again, the staff and the captain was very great. The cruise director, I already forgot his name. I think Rick or Rich. There was a lot of announcements, though. That might be the only thing I kind of will fault between the captain and the cruise ship director. A lot of loud announcements on a 3-day cruise, which I think a lot of people want to sleep in the mornings with partying that's going on. But other than that, I can't fault anything. That is kind of standard nowadays, especially to get a message across as far as like when we're about to dock or arrive somewhere, for instance, Coco Cay, and when we're available to get off. Let's go into my super favorite thing about the ship, and that's the entertainment. I was blown away by the included options. The only issue I had was I had many reservations that were stacked on top of each other because there was nothing else available. So the minute I got out of the Aqua Show, I had 15 minutes to get to the main theater to watch the main theater show. The Aqua Show is called Aqua 82, and it is a sequel to Aqua 80 on another ship in the Oasis class. This show was definitely my favorite show, and the music was a vibe, everything was amazing, and I highly recommend seeing it as many times as you can. Make sure you make a reservation to get a good seat, and honestly, start making your reservation early. Typically, you can start making reservations online the first of the month before your sail date. So if you sail in January, look at December 1st to sign up and make your reservations. Reservations sell out fast, but there is plenty of seating, and you can go into a standby line that releases the doors or the gate 10 minutes prior to the showtime. I don't recommend that, but it will work if you say you can't get a reservation. Do not worry, you will get a seat. It may not just be the best seat. Get there early when you have a reservation because the best seats will go first, and those are towards the front. There is a splash zone to keep in mind, so if you don't want to get wet, don't sit in the front 3 rows. But honestly, the splashes are kind of fun and part of the show, so get in there. I was in the front and I really enjoyed it. They do give you plenty of beach towels to sit there with and cover yourself and dry yourself off with in between the splashes. But you're right there in the splash zone, and you can have great eye contact with all the performers as they're doing their amazing stunts and dance routines. There is no live singing in the show, but when you watch the show, you will understand why. It is very, very physically daunting, and it's amazing what they do. The pool itself in the Aqua Theater is very innovative, and it can adjust all the way down to 18 feet. There is a platform and a couple of platforms actually that adjust throughout the show. They do have safety divers stationed underneath for the diving and the people going in the water, just in case, and to supply them with oxygen and to pull them and move them around if need be. That is the best show. My second favorite show, of course, is All In, which is the production show. It's their only production show because it's only a 3 and 4 day cruise. This show, although somewhat kind of just singing all over the place, they include many genres and popular songs throughout probably the last 20 years or maybe a little further. It was a great performance. I think what really made it great though was how big it was. It was big. It's a big ship. It needs a big stage and a lot of people to fill it. There was at least 20 different dancers, 2 acrobats, and 6 singers during this show that reveal themselves, sometimes all at once. I was counting them and I was shocked. I've never seen that many people on a stage performing on a cruise ship. And there was still space for more. Many cool sets that also move around. Lights were amazing. The theater itself was very innovative, and also they include drones. There is a massive segment towards the end of the show with many drones, and it's set to perfect music, and I highly recommend seeing All In, the full production show. I do have videos of the Aqua Show and All In on my channel, the production show. Unfortunately, some of the music was muted or changed because copyright reasons, but feel free to watch it to get a glimpse, although the camera does not capture how stunning it actually is. A quick tip: when you have shows like I did back to back, for instance, my Aqua Show was at 8 and my production show was at 9. Each show all over the ship usually is 45 minutes. Aqua show, ice skating show, and the production show in the main theater. Even the comedy sketches are also about 45 minutes, so they do build in a 15-minute window to get to another show. But there is a shortcut. When you're watching the Aqua show or the theater, you can also transit between them on deck 5 on the outside deck, the jogging track. It connects to the Aqua Theater, but actually one deck below. So once you get to the aft of the ship, you can just take steps up to the Aqua Theater, or vice versa like I did. Once the Aqua show was over, instead of waiting through the crowds of people who most of them were going to the theater on the exact opposite side of the ship, I went down a level and it was open waters, no pun intended. There was nobody in my way, and I was able to seamlessly make it from the aft of the ship all the way to the forward and get right into the theater. They scanned my card and my reservations were valid. I went and picked a seat. The third big show on board is of course the ice skating show, and it's called Utopia with a Y-O-U. It's a great show, but just ice skating, figure skating is not my favorite thing, but it was probably one of the most packed shows out there because the venue is not as big as it seems. And I had reservations. I was there 15 minutes early and got one of the worst seats possible, way up top by the tables and chairs. It's comfortable, but the view itself was quite obstructive with other people in front of me and pillars in the way. But I still got to see the show. Right now on Utopia, Jordan Both is currently one of the figure skaters on board, and she has a very big YouTube channel, and make sure you follow her as she shows you what it's like to work on a cruise ship and life of somebody who works on a cruise ship in entertainment. And I highly recommend following Jordan Both. Those 3 shows are the core shows, but there's so many other things to watch on the Utopia of the Seas. There's also, of course, great comedy, which they have in the attic and also in the main theater, depending on when you see it. So sign up for as many reservations as you can. You will not be charged if you say you don't make it or you're late, but sometimes they do close the doors and release seats at a certain time. So your reservation may not mean anything. If you show up late, you may not have a seat. So just keep that in mind. I highly recommend making your reservations early again, as I said, and you can do that the month before your sail date, usually around the 1st of the month. So keep that in mind. There's not much more to say about the Utopia of the Seas. I think you need to experience it for yourself. It is kind of expensive, but it is the newest ship right now for Royal Caribbean. But when you consider all you get, it's, to me, reasonable, and you can find good deals, especially if you're willing to use an inside room or a room without any windows or ocean views. They can be somewhat dark and you will sleep very good in them, so keep that in mind if you want to stay up and experience everything. Pack your alarm or make sure your cell phone alarm is on before you lay down, because hours can drift by in a comfortable dark setting and you will not know. Well, I think that's it for me. Utopia of the Seas, I highly recommend it. The only flaw, I think, is it's too hard to do everything in 3 or 4 days. But I think that's what they did. They want you to come back. And I definitely have plans to be back. In fact, I will be back in 2025. And I cannot wait for that, as I will have a junior suite. First time on a Royal Caribbean, and I will have access to the coastal kitchen and some other perks that come with the suite status. It is the basic suite, so keep that in mind. I am excited and can't wait to take y'all with me in 2025 back on the Utopia of the Seas, and this time me and Brittany will be together, as well as a lot of other people in my family, as we're celebrating somebody's milestone birthday. Subscribe and wait to see us on Utopia again. I gotta go. These lights are starting to bother me as usual. Enjoy yourself out there, and happy cruising and happy exploring. I hope to hear about your adventure on Utopia of the Seas, and comment down below if you've been on Utopia or have plans on going on Utopia of the Seas. I really enjoyed it. It is a very busy place, but there's tons of space to chill out or party. It's all up to you. Well, that's it for now, and thank you again for watching Kelman Explores. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.